Manifestation Matters. Season 1, The Frequency of Unfinished Business. Episode 1, The Unwritten Vision, Part 1. Who is the most dangerous manifester in the room? Is it the one who doesn't believe? No. It's the one who believes so completely she never stops to ask what she's actually calling in. And love? What if that woman has been suspended in that same spot for longer than she's willing to admit? Not pausing to grow, not surrendering to see, just hanging between who she was and who she keeps saying she's about to become. What if the universe has been waiting patiently, quietly, without judgment, for her to finally let go of the view she's been clinging to and allow herself to be turned upside down? Because sometimes the blessing isn't in moving forward. Sometimes the blessing is in finally seeing what you look like from the other side. That is where we find Maya Love Matters now. Scissors in hand, vision board unfinished, and a relationship section she hasn't been able to touch in 2 years. Not because she doesn't know what she wants, but because some part of her is still deciding what she believes she deserves. What's up, my beautiful, beloved spiritual kinfolk? This is IAYAALIS, your higher love doctor, genuinely representing as the MDMO, the multi-dimensional mouth, right now, right here, in your ear once again, to warmly welcome you to Manifestation Matters. We are in Season 1, The Frequency of Unfinished Business. And if you are brand new here, love, you just stepped into the right place at the right time. This is not your average story. This is a story about a woman who can manifest almost anything. And that is exactly the problem. Because sometimes the issue isn't that your prayers don't work. Sometimes the issue is that they do. What if your problem isn't that your manifestations aren't working? What if the problem is that they are? Sometimes the issue isn't that the universe can't hear you. Sometimes the issue is that it hears the parts of you that you still have not yet healed. So today, we're stepping inside the world of Maya Love Matters, a woman sitting in front of an unfinished vision board, staring at the one blank space she cannot bring herself to fill. Love, relationships, the very thing she wants, the very thing she fears. Now, settle in, love, get comfortable, because this is episode 1, The Unwritten Vision. And we're going in. The most dangerous manifester is not the one who doesn't believe. It is the one who believes so completely that she has stopped asking what she is actually calling in. Let that land for a moment. Maya Love Matters believed. Oh, she believed. She had the vision board, the candles, the altar, the intention. She had done this before. many times. And every single time, it worked. That was not the problem. The problem was what happened after it worked. And now, with scissors in hand and a blank space staring back at her, Maya was about to come face to face with the one thing she had been avoiding for 2 years: herself. The vision board. Maya Love Matters sat cross-legged on her plush Persian rug, the silk-worn fabric soft beneath her as she surveyed the artistic battlefield around her. Torn magazine clippings, scissors, glue sticks, and half-formed dreams. Everything was simply haphazardly sprawled around, sloppily showing off the trippy traces and after effects of an artistic battle between ambition and hesitation. Her cozy Nashville apartment was a reflection of her inner world, half sacred sanctuary, half beautiful mess. The air carried the lingering scent of last night's lavender incense, blending with the soft, spicy undertones of her burnt cinnamon and vanilla chai candle. The candle's warm glow flickering against the small space's exposed brick walls. It should have been comforting and familiar, grounding even. But today, the air carried a different weight. Restless, thick with something unspoken. Despite the soothing ambiance of her quaint little apartment, there was definitely a restless and heavy influence pressed against her chest. Her apartment, once a sanctuary of bohemian charm and Afrocentric elegance, now personally felt less like a refuge and more like a silent witness, watching, waiting. The soft jingle of wind chimes near the window punctuated the quiet, swaying though the air was still. The slight scent of Palo Santo and sage from last night's cleansing still clung to the walls, mixing with the deep, earthy aroma of the candles flickering near her altar. The golden-haloed celestial goddesses, by way of the cute little paintings on her walls, seemed to study her in reverence, their watchful eyes adding to the sense that something was shifting. A Nina Simone vinyl sat beside the record player in the corner, also waiting. Stacks of well-worn journals brimmed her shelves with channeled messages, prophetic dreams, and intuitive downloads. Messages from the universe she had yet to fully decipher. Maya inhaled deeply, grounding herself in the weight of the moment. Maya was a beautiful Black woman. She was simply stunning in a way that didn't ask for attention but demanded it nonetheless. Mahogany skin that caught the candlelight just right. High cheekbones, full lips, and deep brown eyes that held the weight of 1,000 stories. Her dark and lovely, kinky and curly hair was a luscious, thick mix of chocolate brown colors with curls that were loosely gathered all around her head. A few rebellious strands dangling down to exquisitely frame her face. She wore a simple off-the-shoulder black knit sweater, the wide neckline exposing the elegant curve of her collarbone and décolletage, paired with fitting leggings that hugged her form. Soft, sensual, grounded. A woman caught between past lessons and the edge of transformation. Her fingers traced the handle of the silver shears beside her, the cool metal a tether, an anchor, as her thoughts spiraled like smoke. Before her lay the unfinished vision board, various empty spaces staring back like unanswered prayers. Bold clippings of words like success, purpose, and breakthrough lay scattered, unglued, waiting for commitment. But the relationship section? Oof. Now that was still simply a glaring blank space. Maya sighed, leaning back against her velvet emerald green couch, a pen poised in her fingers but utterly motionless. Her thoughts continued to spiral. How many times have I done this? How many times have I dared to dream, only for the universe to answer in ways I never expected? She glanced up at the half-finished vision board again. Travel, abundance, self-mastery, those pieces were easy to place. But that relationship section, man, still blank. Her fingers tightened around the scissors. Another year, another attempt. Will this actually mean something? Or is this just another thing I won't finish? Her fingers brushed over the handle of a pair of silver shears, their cool surface grounding her for a moment. The metal bit into her palm, sharp, unforgiving. She exhaled, her gaze flickering to the altar nestled in the corner. A place of reverence, power, and deep introspection. The framed photo of her grandmother, the carefully stacked divination books, the ornate brass bowl filled with ancestor money. It all sat waiting, just like her unfinished dreams. Maybe she was afraid of manifesting absolutely nothing momentous. Her grip of the scissors tightened. But maybe she wasn't afraid of failing. Maybe she was afraid of actually getting exactly what she asked for again. The manifestation receipts. Her hands shook as she gently smoothed out a picture of a candlelit altar, her fingers lingering over the image. The spiritual path section was nearly complete, filled with astrological symbols, various metaphysical divinatory signs, stacks of oracle and tarot cards, and ornately dressed ritual candles, flickering with possibility. Every year she made these extremely involved vision boards, and every year something on them came true, sometimes in ways that literally sent chills down her spine. Her chest and shoulders tightened up a bit more. The last time she made one, it was just stupendously strange. Actually, with those last few vision board experiences, things had unfolded in ways that were just way too precise, too eerily exact. The car she envisioned, she got it and totaled it a month later. Maya distinctly remembered how she had cut out a picture of a new car, a sleek midnight black sedan. Things seemed to swiftly fall into place, and a month later, she got it with ease. But alas, a month right after that, her beautiful brand new ride totaled. Then there was the career change she had envisioned. Maya remembered how she had written the words abundance and purpose in gold ink, thinking she'd step into her calling. So, the great job she moved to manifest? Yeah, she landed it and felt trapped from day one. Yes, our sister got a good job that paid well. But unfortunately, later, she eventually realized the gig often left her drained and uninspired. However, the most haunting, fully materialized vision board circumstantial manifestation yet? The man. That amazing and mysterious man who she carefully cut out of a magazine. That man? That deliciously magnificent and marvelous male specimen legitimately came to life in her world. Maya vividly remembered picking up and cutting out a truly fine-ass, tall, dark, suited figure from the pages of GQ magazine and pasting him next to the word passion without thinking twice. She had felt something when she placed it down, a noteworthy tingle in her fingertips. And then, just like that, Jewel Alexander entered her life. Jewel Alexander. Jeez, after all this time, his freaking name still held weight. Jewel had entered her life like a prophecy fulfilled. Tall, dark, and dangerous in the kind of way that made gravity feel weaker in his presence. He moved like a man who had already won the room. His voice a deep, honeyed baritone that smoothed over words like liquid silk. Jewel had seemed to have magically stepped into her world with undeniable charm and intensity. I mean, it was initially all good. He came upon the scene and seemed like the stuff of dreams, until he became her most painful lesson. Now, Maya most certainly wasn't sure about this whole manifestation thing, especially if she could potentially end up manifesting the wrong thing. The air seemed to shift a bit, and for a brief moment, our beautiful brown sister Maya shivered, sighed, and rolled her eyes once again. She mused on the fact that Jewel was the kind of man women wrote about in their diaries, an intoxicating mix of danger and allure. His presence alone demanded attention, an effortless confidence wrapped in smooth baritone laughter and deliberate, measured steps. His voice had a way of curling around words like silk, making even the simplest sentence sound like temptation itself. She remembered way back then when their eyes had met for the first time. It had felt like the universe held its breath, a single stretched moment charged with something unspoken, inevitable. Jewel had a strangely special way of seeing her. No, seeing through her, like he could sift through the layers she kept hiding, pulling them apart with a gorgeous gaze that was both devastating and knowing. His touch had been deliberate, consuming, a quiet possession, a whispered promise. Maya recalled the first time she had locked eyes with him. It was like the world had paused, his gaze deep, penetrating, It was sensually unnerving for her because it was as if he was able to see into the parts of her soul she didn't want exposed. And then there was the way he touched her. Never hurried, never unsure. Every graze of his fingertips had been intentional, as if marking her, branding her, ensuring she'd never forget. The way his fingers traced the inside of her wrist, slow and deliberate, had sent shivers through her, a silent promise of what could be. And when he spoke her name, it wasn't just a sound. It was a slow unraveling, a pull she simply had no control over. His very presence alone always seemed to instantly captivate her. Jewel was a seriously handsome black man. He stood 6'3", broad shoulders filling out every tailored suit he owned like they had been custom made for a god. His deep brown skin was flawless, kissed by the sun, smooth as silk. His sharp jawline, full lips, and piercing obsidian eyes had the kind of magnetism that could command an entire room without a single word. And his scent? Oh, the man's smell was a lush and lascivious intoxicant in and of itself. His aroma always carried these deep, exclusive notes of sandalwood, musk, oud, and just a hint of something undeniably him. He was charismatic, intoxicating, downright addictive, and utterly unforgettable. To this day, his scent still haunted her. Not just the man's smell, him. For Maya, Jewel Alexander was a soul-stirring energy that still kept her close and spinning. A whirlwind, a force, a lesson wrapped in cologne and bad decisions. Yup, she had manifested him and then lost herself in him. Her grip on the scissors tightened. The sharp edges bit deeper, their silent steel whispering, "Let go." Maya exhaled sharply. Yeah, maybe that's why she hadn't touched the relationship section. Maybe she didn't trust herself to fill it. Maybe she was more afraid of getting exactly what she asked for, and to the point of overwhelm. The air in the room thickened, a near imperceptible hush. The candle flame, once flickering, stilled. The wind chimes swayed, though the air remained unmoved. A subtle shift pressing against her awareness, like the presence of a hand just removed from her shoulder. Maya, no doubt, was just seriously internally caught up. Her fingers went numb, her stomach twisting as a bit of concern crept through her like a slow-moving chill. This board was different. It felt different. The relationship section, normally the easiest to fill, remained untouched, glaring at her like an unanswered question. Maya started to spin. Did she even want to manifest love this time? Or was she too afraid of what might come knocking? Maybe Maya was less afraid of getting nothing and more freaked out by possibly getting exactly what she asked for. A slow, strange vibe crawled up her spine, and for a brief moment, the air seemed to shift again. The candles flickered, and the silence of the room grew impossibly still, like the universe itself was listening. The oracle drop. Maya exhaled one more time and let the vision board rest where it was. She wasn't going to force it. Not tonight. Not the relationship section. Not any of it. Her eyes drifted to the altar. And that was when she saw it. Nestled just beneath the edge of the altar cloth, almost like it had always been there, waiting to be noticed, a worn, familiar book, its spine soft from years of being opened, its pages thick with the kind of weight that only real truth carries. The oracle. She reached for it without overthinking. No ritual, no ceremony, just presence, just listening. Her fingers wrapped around the cover, and she let the book fall open wherever it wanted to. Her eyes scanned the page, then stopped, locked, held. The Oracle, Supernal Signals, Chapter 1, on Love. You chase it through faces, through bodies and names, through titles and trophies and unwinnable games. You whisper, who will love me enough to stay? And abandon yourself in the very same day. Maya went completely still. She read the lines again, slower this time. And abandon yourself in the very same day. That wasn't just poetry on a page. That was a receipt. A full and itemized accounting of every single moment she had been hanging there, suspended between who she was and who she kept saying she'd become, pouring herself into Jewel Alexander and calling it love. Every time she had bent herself into a shape that fit what he needed and quietly grieved the shape she had left behind. She had not just manifested him, she had abandoned herself in the process. Her gaze drifted slowly, almost unwillingly, back to the vision board, to the empty space, to the word she still had not been able to bring herself to fill. Relationships. The candle beside her flickered sharply, then steadied. Maybe it wasn't that she didn't know what to put there. Maybe she just wasn't sure yet if she trusted the woman doing the choosing. Because who was that woman really? Who was she? Before the vision boards, before the manifestations, before Jewel? Who exactly was she before all of it? Maya didn't have the answer yet, but something in the room had just shifted, and something in her chest said, It was finally time to find out. Then, bzzzt, the sudden vibration of her phone shattered the silence, yanking Maya back into the moment. Her phone buzzed again, the sudden vibration slicing through the silence, canceling all her previous thoughts. The screen lit up, the name flashing across it, Clarissa Joy Downs. Seeing her bestie's name show up on her cell phone screen quickly pulled Maya out of her whole spin. But here's the thing about life. Right when you get all caught up in your own head, the universe got jokes. That buzz on Maya's phone, y'all, that ain't just her bestie calling. That's fate dialing in, loud and clear. And trust, when Clarissa Joy Downs storms into the picture, nothing stays the same. The candles had stilled after their flicker. The vision board had spoken. And now, the night was about to flip. Maya didn't know it yet, but the universe had already RSVP'd her to a party she couldn't run from. Unfinished business was waiting. And sometimes the past don't knock soft. It kicks the damn door wide open. To be continued. All right, y'all. So now, love, please listen. If Maya's story stirred something in you, if that blank relationship space looked a little too familiar, if you felt something shift when she picked up that book and read those words, don't brush that off. That's not random. That's a signal. Because sometimes we don't need another pretty picture on the board. Sometimes we need to ask who inside us is choosing the picture in the first place. In the next episode, Maya's not just sitting with the vision anymore. The vision starts moving. The past starts calling. And when Clarissa Joy Downs finally storms into the room, trust me, nothing stays quiet for long. This is Manifestation Matters, and the story has only just begun. Eternal Supernal, in love we thrive, live love, love life. IAYAALIS.